Welcome everyone back to weekly weather updates, and in today's video we're going to have a look at the latest from the live radar. Then we'll run through the UK Met Office run, have a look at the precipitation and temperature on the next 5 days, as it does look like temperatures are going to be dropping down more towards average. Precipitation is going to be increasing quite widely, a lot more scattered showers around, but it doesn't look like we're going to be seeing as intense showers with the thunderstorms we've had over the last sort of 5 days. Doesn't look like we're going to be seeing much of that coming up, but it will be generally unsettled with a lot of days of sunshine and showers with temperatures peaking in the high teens. So much more towards average, and it does look like we're going to go into a generally westerly phase over the next 7 days. But as we'll see when we have a look at the mid to long range models, looking at the GFS, GM, ECMWF and the ensembles, there is the potential for us to go warm or very hot once again towards the start of June, but that is very much in the extended range, and we'll have a look at that and see the uncertainty with that. Just to remember, if you enjoy my videos, make sure you like and subscribe, and remember to follow me on Twitter as well, the link's in the description. So if we do start on the live radar, you can see it is not particularly dry. There are dry spells around, but we are starting to see this showery theme come in. Now, for most of the United Kingdom, it is cloudy with these scattered showers, especially, as I said, further westwards and northwards. Bit of persistent rain into western parts of Scotland and northwest England, pretty miserable there through the Liverpool area into Formby, Manchester, Wigan, St Helens. Quite heavy rain actually pushing in there, but again, it is local. You go a little bit further eastwards into Yorkshire, there's very little rain, and you go down into the Midlands, very little rain as well. So a little bit of localised heavier precipitation, and that's going to be the theme over the next week or two. Some areas are going to get quite bad days, could be very miserable with rain. Other areas could see some sunshine, and those temperatures maybe creep up towards 20 degrees. Further northwards and westwards, we do see very unsettled conditions coming into Northern Ireland. A lot of sunshine and showers, and a few of these showers are turning a little bit thundery, so quite intense torrential rain within these, and there have been some lightning strikes detected. No intense thunderstorms, but still technically thunderstorms with lightning detected at the moment, but they are quite small storm systems and they are moving through quite quickly, so could give intense conditions in localised areas. Now this is because we've got a westerly flow starting to push back in, but within the very hot air just in the near continent. You can see across Germany and France, into Luxembourg as well, Belgium, up towards the Netherlands, intense thunderstorms outbreaks, very intense. I've seen some images on Twitter of apparent tornadoes, perhaps in Germany. Can't say confirmed, but there have been reports, and yeah, very intense systems moving in there, sparking off in the very hot air. And further southwards into parts of Spain, we're seeing temperatures get up to the low 40s. We've seen over 40 degrees seen in central southern areas of Spain. So it just shows you that real heat that is around, that has sparked thunderstorms in the UK, is still close by, but is not going to be influencing the UK for probably the next 7 days or so. Now, if you look at the temperatures, you'll be able to see this very well. Very hot across parts of Spain, especially into southern parts of France, Germany, as well into Switzerland and Italy. So that very hot air, that 30-degree weather, is very close by. But you can see across northern parts of France, Netherlands, Belgium, much cooler conditions, not only under the precipitation, but because we've got fresher air pushing in. And this is going to be the theme. We're going to be seeing a lot of these yellows and oranges over the next week for the UK. High teens, perhaps peaking into the low 20s at times. So if we do now have a look at the UK Met Office run, have a look at the precipitation and temperature over the next 5 days. Now you can see early this morning we had very heavy rain in the southeast pushing in, but it cleared for the majority of areas by around lunchtime, and we've just gone into a day of sunshine and showers. As I said, some of these showers turning a little bit thundery and persistent, especially in the north and west, but they should clear, so by around midnight tonight it is dry for quite a few. Tomorrow, again, a lot of sunshine and showers, very similar theme with the heavier showers in the north and west and widespread cloud outbreaks, but some sunnier spells. As we head into Sunday, very similar once again, sunshine and showers, especially heavy, perhaps across northwest England and parts of Ireland, Northern Ireland and Scotland. And once again, through Monday, potentially some more persistent rain further southwards and eastwards, but still plenty of these scattered heavy showers. And through into Tuesday, again, another outbreak of showers. Perhaps not quite as heavy, Not too many reds showing up there, or oranges, but still some moderate showers pushing through there, and we'll see that continue into Wednesday, perhaps though with more of a weather front pushing in. So you can see why I say it's not going to be anything crazy bad, but there will be days where some areas are pretty miserable with a lot of showers around. No real persistent bands in the next 5 days, but as I said, a lot of these moderate to heavy showers around. Could be a few isolated thunderstorms within that, but we're not thinking any major outbreaks at this stage. If you look at the max temperatures, you can see that today we're seeing temperatures peak in around those mid to high teens, 15 to 17 degree peak. Through to Saturday, it does look like temperatures may get up to 20 degrees in somewhere in East Midlands or East Anglia, but more widely 15 to 17 degrees, perhaps further northwards with more precipitation and cloud a couple degrees lower. If we do have a look at Sunday afternoon, again, temperatures maybe a little bit higher, maybe 20 to 23 degrees. It does look like on the weekend we could tap into slightly warmer air just wafting up from the south for a short period of time. If we do have a look at the upper air temperatures, you'll be able to see some very warm air just to our south, but it does get moved away very quickly back into a westerly flow, as you can see by the middle of next week. So only temporary bit of warmer air, but could give a lift those temperatures by a few degrees on Sunday. And as we head forward to Monday, as that cooler air pushing in and we've got more precipitation in the south, temperatures really struggling in the mid-teens, widely sort of 13 to 16 degrees, maybe locally 17, 18 degrees, and very similar into Tuesday once again, maybe 16 to 18 degrees in a few spots, but widely in that mid-teens range, 14 to 16 degrees. So nothing too bad. It's not going to be cold by any means, but it's not going to be anywhere near as warm widely as it has been recently, and we're not going to see anything really above maybe 23 degrees, which is possible on Sunday, but that is going to be the highest temperature we're going to see perhaps for a week or so, with most days temperatures peaking in around that 18 to 20 degree mark, which isn't too bad, but yeah, it's cooler than what we've had recently. And of course, we see showers and thicker cloud, it's going to hold those temperatures down even more. So if you now have a look at the mid to long range, if we start on the GFS, it's the 6 o'clock run that has come out. Now I must stress this is one run because it does go very hot. And it's one of the indications why perhaps we are looking at some very hot weather towards the start of June, because the operational GFS keeps going for it. Some ensemble members are following it, but we haven't got a crazy amount of support for it at this stage. Just some of the operational runs going for it. Can be a precursor, because of course the operational runs are done at a higher resolution, so perhaps they are picking on something that the low resolution ensembles are not yet, but there's no guarantees with that. So that is only one sort of scenario, so we'll have to see how it does play out over the coming days. So you can see at the moment westerly wind's going to win out, slight southwesterly wind into the weekend, and that's going to bring up that slight bit of warmer air, but towards the middle of next week, much more flat westerly flow with low pressure further northwards and westwards, meaning more showers and chillier conditions. We could see some quite chilly upper air conditions getting down to 0 degrees at 850 HPA, a good 10 to 15 degrees cooler than we have seen this week or earlier this week, but it's not going to create anything too crazy. Where we see sunshine, temperatures will still get into the mid to high teens. Beyond that, as we head towards day 10, that low pressure eventually does storm more out in the Atlantic. High pressure builds to our east, and a southerly wind, again, another one of these very warm, humid southerly winds with some thunderstorms around for early June, but very hot conditions as well. You see little upper troughs there mixing within the high pressure. That's going to trigger storms. Now, if we do run back to the start of this operational run, have a look at the temperatures. You can see the very hot air just over the near continent, and you can see the UK does tap slightly into it on Sunday, but we stay in a much fresher air mass for next week, and lots of Europe will return more to a fresher air mass, that hot air subsiding back toward the Mediterranean, parts of Italy and North Africa. So the UK does get into chillier air masses, see greens mixing in there, but nothing crazy cold, just generally around or slightly below average for periods of time. But it's beyond that. You see a very hot push of air in around sort of the last day or first day of June. And you can see very hot conditions. 15 degrees firm gets in. That would give temperatures into the low 30s. Very, very hot indeed for the Jubilee weekend. We've all got bank holidays, so it would be very nice indeed before cooler conditions come back in. But of course, that will be accompanied by some very big thunderstorms as we do see that break down. Again, it's one run, so we can't say anything with too much certainty, but it is still being pushed out by the Operational Run. A few consecutive runs now have got this coming off, and we are seeing it perhaps on the GM Operational Run, as I'll show you in a minute, and some of the ensemble members. So you can see generally blues and some yellows around over the next week or two, so above and slightly below average at times, but nothing crazy above or crazy below. But it's at the end of the run, we go well above average, 10 to 12 degrees above average, incredibly hot, getting up into that low 30 degrees sort of conditions. Again, if we do have a look at the 2 meter temperatures, zoom into the United Kingdom and have a look at one of the afternoons. So you see Friday, 3rd of June, 30 degrees already at midday, and I suspect when temperatures peaking around 3-4 p.m, it would be getting up towards 32, 33 degrees, like it is in the near constant, getting up towards 34 degrees. Insanely hot, maybe even 36 degrees being seen there. Ridiculously hot air mass and widely mid-20s. So it is something we do need to keep an eye on. Not got a lot of certainty with at this stage, but it is something that we have to, of course, watch. Now, if we have a look at the GM run, see how that does compare. Again, westerly wind's going to be winning out over the course of the weekend and start of next week. And it's towards next weekend, high pressure starts to build in, and we do start to put up another southerly wind. Again, uncertain how strong this is going to hold. As you can see, the high pressure is not all these darker reds, which shows big, strong high pressure. It's not quite enveloping the UK. But you can see a very hot air mass is wafting up from the south. Look at the temperature deviation, good 10 to 12 degrees above average coming into central southern England. So incredibly hot with that 15 degree ice firm just to our south again. You zoom in, 15 degree ice firm is in the English Channel across the Isle of Wight, and you see 18 degree ice firm is across northern France. So incredibly hot, and again would be accompanied by showers and storms, wherever you see some instability mix in with that as well. Now, if we do have a look at the ECMWF, see how that does compare. If we go to the midnight run, you can see again westerly flow winning out this week because, of course, it's going a little bit more unsettled. But high pressure does build back in for day 10. But interestingly, builds further northwards and westwards, so a bit of an anomalous run there with a more of a northerly flow, showing yes, high pressure building in at day 10, but that hot air is staying to our south, and we're actually going into a chillier northeasterly flow. And yeah, it doesn't look too cold here, but if you actually look on the temperature deviation, it's a good 4 to 6 degrees below average. Very chilly indeed. No guarantees with it, of course, but it is something we do need to keep an eye on. Yes, high pressure building in, coming up from the south, but going much further northwards and westwards than the other runs have taken it, which does turn things inevitably a little bit chillier. This would be a proper wintry sort of pattern, give it 2 or 3 months ago. But being early June, or end of May, early June, it would be chilly, but it wouldn't be anything too spectacular. But it would be very much different than 30 degree southerly winds. So we'll have to keep an eye on it, of course. But you can see why I say there is some weight behind it going very hot towards the start of June, but there isn't that much certainty with it at this stage. Not that much concrete evidence for it. Now, if we do have a look at the ensembles, you'll be able to see we're around average at the moment. We get a slight waft of warmer air in the south towards the weekend before dropping around or below average for about 3 or 4 days next week, then returning to around or above average for the last sort of 3 days of May. And then for the start of June, we are above average on most of the ensemble members, some still well below average, but the average of the ensemble members is above the 1981 to 2010 mean. You can see the operational run there is almost off the charts in terms of hot conditions, well above the majority of the other ensemble members. So that's why I say there is so much uncertainty with it, because it hasn't got that much support. Precipitation isn't too high over the next couple of weeks. Yes, there are some bigger spikes, but that's more likely to be from little low pressure systems developing, but the majority of precipitation over the next couple of weeks is going to be of convective potential. So it's going to be showers, it's going to be hit and miss. So some areas could get a lot of rain some days, other areas very close by could get very little. So it's going to be very hit and miss, and it's going to be luck of the draw really if you get a dry day or you get a bit of wetter weather with some of the showers. So we'll have to see. Again, that's why we need to keep looking at the UK Met Office run, pinpointing where the highest chance of showers. But at the moment, it does look like next week all areas are going to have a pretty decent chance. But I must say, definitely further north and westwards has probably the highest chance at this stage. Now, if you look at the ECMWF Ensembles, see how that does compare in the midnight run. Again, around average at the moment, slight push of warmer air, potentially towards the weekend, given those temperatures maybe 22, 23 degrees in the London area. And then we drop below average for next week, for 3 or 4 days. And then beyond that, towards the end of May and start of June, we are well above average again. Looking very, very decent, but not incredibly warm or hot, like the operational GFS. Some members up there, including the control ECMWF run, but none, not that much consistency. Still quite a few going around or below average. And again, precipitation is generally of a showery nature. If we do actually just briefly check the GM ensembles, again, you can see the operational run there is one of the warmest runs, has got some support but not got loads of support. So this is why I say there is a signal for it going very hot for the start of June, but there isn't anything too definitive at this stage. For the time being, though, it does look like it's going to be turning more unsettled over the next week. So if you prefer sunshine and showers and generally temperatures in the mid to high teens, then it looks perfect for you over the next week or so. If you want warmer, hotter weather, getting up into the mid-20s, big thunderstorms at night, then it is not looking like we're going to be seeing anything like that for at least a week or two. But it doesn't look too bad. Not an absolute washout by any means, but not anywhere near as good as we have had recently in terms of warmer, dry weather, especially for many central areas, because I know the southeast and southern areas have been bombarded by thunderstorms, and it does look like it's the northwards and westwards areas that are going to be bombarded by heavier, moderate to heavy showers over the next week or so. But I must stress, it's not going to be heavy rain all the time. There is going to be some dry times. But as I said, it's going to be very, very hit and miss. So keep up to date with the forecast, and if you are doing something in the day, just keep an eye on the live radar and look to your west and see if there is any showers coming and how intense they are, because that is very much the best way to tell what's going to be happening in the day, because being of convective nature, the models do struggle predicting exactly where showers are going to form. So that's why I really wouldn't trust any of the weather apps with in this sort of scenario. If it was persistent rain, the weather apps do quite well. But when it's convective potential like this, very hit and miss showers, it is very difficult to pinpoint it exactly. So do keep an eye on the radar, and of course I'll keep you updated on the short range models every day at the start of the video. So anyway, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you again for another video soon.